This is CBS News New York.
Today's show co-host Savannah Guthrie and her siblings making a heartbreaking plea to their missing mother and whoever took her.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive.
As investigators race against time, new clues are emerging about Nancy Guthrie's last known movements. We've got the latest on the search. And Governor Hochul making history with her choice of a running mate.
They're both fighters who are always going to put New York first.
Former New York City Council Speaker Adrienne tapped for the role. Reaction from both sides of the political aisle. And be careful on the roads this morning. Black ice making it tricky to travel in some spots, and it's about to get much colder. We'll time out the temperature plunge that's headed our way for the weekend. Just in time. Good morning. I'm Chris Raggi.
And I'm Cindy Hsu in for Mary. Let's get right over to Tony Sadiku and find out how cold it's going to get. Tony?
So how about some of the coldest air of the season yet? So that's what's in store. Cindy and Chris, just in time for your weekend. Granted, you step outside this morning, it's not warm. Temperatures are in the single digits, and some of you are colder than it was this time yesterday. Cold Neck is 6, Wayne is 7. You're in Lakewood at 17. Huntington's registering about 18 right now. So there's a spread, single digits, teens, 20s. Bottom line, as Chris said, is you do want to be mindful of the threat of black ice. While temperatures have at least managed the last couple of afternoons to get above freezing, any melting we've done is now frozen solid. So it's going to be a little slick first thing this morning. Temperatures, and really much of the day, because much of the day we are going to be in the freezer and struggling. But it's going to be a bright day, so we're loving that. Now, tomorrow we had clouds. Tomorrow night we had snow. Light to moderate snow will come in along an Arctic front. And there will be a slow exit, so accumulations have gone up a little bit. Yes, there'll be at least a coating, but some of you could get a little bit more. So that's how we're seeing that play out. But of course, all eyes are on the weekend. We've got back-to-back first alerts for dangerous cold. Numbers will be dropping. We'll talk about where we already have some extreme cold watches posted for our area coming up in just a bit. All right, to Guy we go. And what do folks need to watch out for hitting the roads this morning, Guy?
Well, Tony, you need to watch out for this problem in East Farmingdale. We have an accident partially blocking the right lane on the westbound side of the Southern State Parkway at exit 32. Delays are back to exit 33. In Franklin Lakes, we have an accident blocking one lane on Route 208 southbound at Ewing Avenue. Currently, the delays are back to Summit Avenue. And checking on mass transit, New Jersey Transit is showing 15-minute delays on the Montclair-Booton and Morrison-Essex lines due to grade crossing issues between Netcong and Mount Olive. And taking a live look at the Lincoln Tunnel, traffic still moving very well here down around the Helix through the tolls. It's just a minor delay at the George Washington Bridge as well as the Holland Tunnel. Alternate side parking is suspended through Sunday, but you still have to pay the meters. Chris, Cindy?
God, thank you. Well, it's been nearly 5 days since 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was last seen, and now her family is speaking out.
Today's show co-host Savannah Guthrie appearing alongside her sister and brother in a video released last night, pleading for their mother's safe return. Elijah Westbrook joins us with the latest details on the search. Elijah.
Well, Cindy and Chris, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings made a deeply personal and emotional plea, speaking directly to their mother and her potential abductor.
Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy.
In an emotional video posted Wednesday night, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings addressed the nation and whoever may have taken their mother, 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie.
Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer.
The family acknowledging a possible ransom note.
We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please, reach out to us.
Law enforcement returned to Nancy Guthrie's Tucson home, deploying a police dog and gathering additional evidence. The sheriff tells CBS News Guthrie had dinner at her daughter Annie and son-in-law's home on Saturday night. The son-in-law then took Nancy back to her house. About a 10-minute drive away, she was dropped off around 9:45 p.m. Authorities now believe her pacemaker was last synced with her phone early Sunday morning, raising concerns that may mark the moment she was taken. taken. The FBI says it is aggressively analyzing cell phones, tracking tower data, and conducting interviews. A former FBI agent says even detailed ransom notes must still be verified. But the biggest concern right now is time.
The medication, that's certainly of concern. You know, this isn't just a minor thing. It's something that she needs to survive.
Support pouring in, including from President Trump, who says he spoke directly with Savannah. Wednesday night, a vigil was held for Nancy's safe return. Her children delivered their mother this message.
We rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
Investigators say there are still no suspects or person of interest. Law enforcement officials are expected to hold a news conference this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Cindy.
Elijah, thank you. This morning, a 2-year-old boy is fighting for his life at a Manhattan hospital. His father charged with attempted murder and assault. Cindy Williams' 2-year-old son Malik is now surviving on a ventilator with brain damage and a fractured pelvis. Prosecutors say the boy's father, 30-year-old Davon Morrison, beat him while drunk. Morrison is now being held without bail. Malik's mother says she has been fighting for custody of her son.
Warrant ACS, the courts, NYPD, everybody. I warrant everybody, but now y'all can hear me. Now y'all can hear me.
The NYPD says the toddler had been living with his father at a Long Island City homeless shelter. On Monday, police sources tell us Morrison hid the child in the undercarriage of a stroller and brought him to a relative's home in Manhattan. That's when, according to the criminal complaint, witnesses noticed the boy's injuries and called police.
A desperate search is underway in New Jersey for a 19-year-old with autism who's been missing for nearly 2 weeks. Stephanie Senior says her son, Connor Oldfield, was last seen leaving her Plainfield home near George Street and Watson Avenue on January 24th. Senior says he was last seen wearing a dark gray Reebok jacket with vibrant yellow and black pants. Now, Senior says she fears her son may have been picked up by ICE agents since he left the house without his ID. Now, this morning, she just wants him home.
ICE was heavy out here that particular day and days following and days before. I'm begging you, say something. If you don't want to call the cops, call the news station, call somebody. Just direct him home, direct him to somewhere where he can be safe. Because let him go. He needs to come home. He have a whole family that loves him.
We reached out to ICE. They provided a vague response saying, quote, "I'll share this information." The Plainfield Police Department urged the public to help find Oldfield in late January, but not respond to any of our questions yesterday.
Polls are now open in New Jersey as voters will select the Democratic candidate in the 11th Congressional District. That's the seat left vacant by now Governor Mikey Sherrill. 11 candidates are running. Voters will see 13 names on the ballot, but 2 have dropped out. Polls opened just minutes ago and close at 8 o'clock tonight. The winner of the primary will face Republican Joe Hathaway in April.
A first-of-its-kind ticket, the race for New York governor.
Governor Kathy Hochul making history, choosing former New York City Council Speaker Adrienne Adams as her running mate. Christina Fan joins us live from the governor's Midtown office with the details. Christina.
Well, Cindy and Chris, Governor Hochul is certainly making a statement with her choice, but she and Adams also share a lot in common. Both of them are moderates, they are around the same age, and they have also focused their respective campaigns on the issue of affordability. She became the first black speaker to lead the New York City Council in 2022. Now Adrienne Adams is making history again. On Wednesday, Governor Kathy Hochul tapped Adams as her running mate in her re-election bid. The first time New York has had 2 women at the top of the ticket. In a statement, Hochul wrote, "As Donald Trump attacks the state relentlessly and Bruce Blakeman bends the knee before him, I need a fighter in my corner who will stand strong for New York families. Adrienne Adams is that fighter." Former City Council Speaker Christine Quinn applauded the choice.
Adrienne is just like Kathy, a fighter. She stood up to bullies, whether it was Eric Adams trying to erode the council's efforts to help homeless moms and homeless kids, whether it was pushing through and getting library services expanded in the city. They're both fighters who are always going to put New York first. And I think it's exciting to have a 2-mom ticket.
The move comes as Hochul's current lieutenant governor, Antonio Delgado, is running his own campaign for governor against her. Hochul is also facing a challenge from Republican Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, who blasted her choice, calling Adams, quote, a radical running mate that welcomed the migrant crisis, defunded the NYPD by $1 billion, and chased away thousands of jobs to other states. Brooklyn Democrats also expressed disapproval over the governor's decision. In a statement, the executive committee of the Kings County Democratic Organization said it is taking back its endorsement of Kathy Hochul as governor, but would not provide a further reason as to why. Reporting live from Midtown, Christina Fan, CBS News, New York.
Christina, thank you. The Archdiocese of New York is preparing for a new archbishop for the first time in nearly 17 years. Archbishop-designate Ronald Hicks will be installed tomorrow at St. Patrick's Cathedral. Ahead of the ceremony that'll be filled with ancient symbolism, Hicks will take part in evening prayer, also known as Vespers, tonight at St. Patrick's at 5 o'clock. Take a moment and scan the QR code on your screen, which will bring you right to our YouTube page where you can watch the prayer service live. We'll also have continuous coverage of tomorrow's installation ceremony. 6:10 now, let's get to meteorologist Tony Sadiku and find out about our weather. Tony.
Yeah, it's more about the chill, Cindy. Want to let you know, as you know, that we want to give you that first alert about the dangerous cold over the weekend. I'm serious. Some of this cold air coming our way over the weekend can be a doozy. I want to break down the headlines for you because this is going to be certainly impactful. So here's how it stacks up heading into the weekend. So we are likely to see some cold air and some snow through Saturday. There will be an Arctic front that moves in on Saturday morning as well. And then it's all about the brutal chill as we take you through it on Saturday night into Sunday. Some of the coldest air yet. We'll take you through it and time it out for you coming up in just a bit. 6:11, and let's check back in with Guy Stanier. He's got more on your first alert traffic. Hey, Guy.
Good morning, Tony. We have a little bit of better news in East Farmingdale. The accident has been moved to the shoulder on the westbound side of the Southern State Parkway at exit 32. Drivers are still slowing down just a bit to take a look at the flashing lights through the area. Slow traffic is back to about exit 33, but it's definitely moving better than last time we checked in. In Franklin Lakes, we still have a crash at blocks 1 lane on Route 208 southbound at Ewing Avenue. Currently, the delays are back to Summit Avenue. Alternate side parking is suspended through Sunday, but you still have to pay the meters. Chris, Cindy.
Guy, thank you. Federal investigators taking a closer look at Nike over complaints about its diversity policies, what the company is now being asked to turn over.
After weeks of freezing apartments, help is on the way for families in Far Rockaway. The multi-million-dollar plan to fix heating in public housing.
And welcome back to CBS News New York on this Thursday, February 5th. It is 6:15. Let's check in with Jim Smith. Just took off in Chopper 2. Hello, Jim.
Good morning, Chris. We are looking at about 45 minutes until official sunrise, but it looks like we're off to a great start to the day as far as clouds go. Now, we just got to look at the Hudson River crossings. Holland and Lincoln tunnels looking good so far, making our way up towards the George Washington Bridge. Coming to our camera now. No reports any significant delays at the bridge. Guy will have the rest of your commute coming up in just a few minutes. For now, Chris, Cindy, back to you.
Jim, thank you very much. Well, relief is on the way for hundreds of NYCHA residents in Queens. The city is investing millions to install heat pumps at the Beach 41st Street complex in Far Rockaway. Right now, hundreds of residents living in the Far Rockaway complex say heat is inconsistent or does not come on at all. The mayor says the pumps will provide heat in the winter and air conditioning in the summer.
We're one step closer to a future where no child need grow up in an apartment where the silence of the radiator means a brutal night of cold.
We deserve heat. We deserve hot water.
The mayor says the current heat issue will be fixed immediately. NYCHA officials say about 30,000 new heat pumps will be installed across the city over the next few years. Time now for Check Up Your First Alert forecast.
Here's Tony.
Hey, good morning, Cindy and Chris. And really, as cold as it's been this winter, you're not crazy. I mean, a lot of folks are like, doesn't it feel like it's unusual? Coldest winter in 15 years in our area, and we're going to make a strong case for it again heading into this weekend. So these are your numbers now. Single digits, teens, it's 20s. It's cold, but it's not as cold as it's gonna be when we take a look at Saturday night into Sunday morning. And that's when we're gonna get a piece of the polar vortex, and these temperatures are gonna be absolutely brutal. Widespread wind chills 10 to 25 below zero first thing in the morning. That's just going to be a lot to take. So I want to make sure you've got the first alert. I mean, want to really limit time outside because frostbite and hypothermia can happen in a hurry. First alert flyby, your Chevy Chopper. Sky conditions are great. Visibility is great. The one issue you'll run into is some patchy black ice. So a little caution there on your morning commute. So your first alert is for the dangerous cold, but it's not just the cold. It's going to be because of the punishing winds, too. How about winds that can go 45 to 50 miles an hour? The problem with that becomes, are we going to be in a range where these winds are strong enough to knock down trees, maybe cause some power outages? That's the last thing we need when it's going to be this cold. Feels like temperatures 10 to 20 below zero, and we've got the threat for some hypothermia as well. So that's what's in store for this weekend. Now, before we get to this weekend, I want to show you a futurecast that shows some snow could be on the way. This is Friday, 7:30 in the evening. Mostly okay, but there will be some flakes that fly north and west. You see how we get into more widespread action, even some deeper blues here by 3:30, 4 in the morning. Could be some squally weather, poor visibility, and quick accumulations, and then some lingering snow showers east, which may linger a little long. So accumulations are about 1 inch to 3 the further north and west you go, only about a coating to 1 inch sections of New Jersey. Here's a look at your first alert, 7-day forecast. Temperatures are trending colder. 23 with an arrow pointing down means 23 is a morning temperature. Numbers never really feel like that. 18 on Sunday. Thankfully, the winds are not that strong. It's fair to say it's going to be a great weekend to do a little hibernating. Thankfully, there's a lot to watch on TV that day. 6:18, let's check back in with Guy Stanier. And your first alert traffic. Still busy out there?
That's right, Tony. Well, we can sit around and watch the Olympics on TV. That starts Friday night, right? So we're going to start in Morris Township. We have a crash involving a lumber truck on Route 287 northbound between exits 33 and 35. 2 lanes are blocked through the area. Thankfully, the northbound traffic is still fairly light. In Franklin Lakes, an accident blocks at least 1 lane on Route 28 southbound at Ewing Avenue. Currently, the delays are back to Summit Avenue. And taking a live look outside in Queens, the usual commuter delays building up on the westbound side of the LIE, right near the Grand Central Parkway. Slow traffic starts around the Van Wyck. Alternate side parking is suspended through Sunday, but you still have to pay the meters. Chris?
Guy, thank you. Federal investigators are taking a closer look at Nike after claims that some of its diversity policies may have discriminated against white workers. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or the EEOC, says it's reviewing whether the company's DEI program treated some employees unfairly. Investigators are asking for years of records, including how layoffs were handled, how race data was tracked, and whether that affected pay. They're also looking at more than a dozen programs that critics say may have limited mentoring and career opportunities based on race.
Google's parent company Alphabet says it's going all in on artificial intelligence. The company plans to spend up to $185 billion in 2026, building new AI data centers across the U.S. That's more than double what it spent last year. The move comes as Alphabet's annual revenue topped $400 billion for the first time, signaling that big tech sees AI as the future of growth.
On our Money Watch, futures trending lower this morning as investors await the weekly jobless claims report from the Labor Department. Also today, earnings reports from companies like Amazon, Peloton, and Shell. Stock market ended the day mixed yesterday under the weight of sinking technology stocks. Dow climbed 260. The S&P was off 35. Nasdaq dropping 350.
6:20, Super Bowl Sunday almost here, but before kickoff, an enormous security operation is already in motion. How agencies are working to keep fans safe.
And a shakeup for New York sports. The Rangers trading Artemi Panarin to Los Angeles. What the team is getting in return? Hint, not much.
This is First Alert Weather, sponsored by your Tri-State Chevy dealers.
Good morning. Nice to see you on a Thursday. Appreciate you spending part of your morning with us here on CBS News New York as we get you ready for another cold day. Although it's not as cold as it's going to get over the weekend, numbers will still kind of miss the mark. Be nice to get to 40 degrees. That's the normal high in February. Instead, freezing is our aim, and I think we can get there. Mainly clear skies tonight, numbers down to 20. We do have clouds tomorrow, and then we'll watch for some snow at night. I am tracking some air That is postmarked from the North Pole. We'll talk about when it gets here, how cold it gets when I see you in just a few minutes. 6:24, and let's check back in with Guy Stanier, that morning rush. What's going on?
Well, Tony, we have a problem in Morris Township. We have a crash involving a lumber truck on 287 northbound. This is right between exits 33 and 35. 2 lanes are blocked. Thankfully, the northbound traffic is still fairly light. In Franklin Lakes, an accident blocks 1 lane on Route 208 southbound at Ewing Avenue. Currently, the delays are back to Summit Avenue. Alternate side parking is suspended through Sunday, but you still have to pay the meters. Chris, Cindy?
Guy, thank you. The red-hot New York Knicks were looking for their 8th win in a row last night as they took on the Denver Nuggets at MSG.
This was not going to be easy. Denver, tough team out west. Karl Anthony Towns and Spencer Jones. Watch it. Oh, a little contact there. That hurts. Banging heads in the first quarter. Towns emerging bloody and bruised. He went back into the locker room, got some stitches, and then returned to the game. Tough guy. Okay, they went into overtime after Mikal Bridges got called for a loose ball foul. Denver tied it again on free throws. So they go to double overtime, and the captain, Jalen Brunson, stops, pops, drops from downtown, capping off a 42-point night with a couple of big buckets. Knicks win it in double overtime in front of a home crowd, 134-127. Yeah, take that, Denver. The bread man will soon be delivering in another city. The Rangers trading standout forward Artemi Panarin to the LA Kings, and the Kings are expected to keep him around. They sign him to a 2-year, $22 million contract extension. Good for him. In return, the Rangers get prospect Liam Greentree and a conditional 3rd-round pick. Sources say Panarin told the Rangers LA was the only place he wanted to go. He was the Rangers' leading scorer in 5 of the past 6 seasons and one of the best free agent pickups in Rangers history. Former NFL head coach Frank Reich was named as the Jets' new offensive coordinator yesterday. In a statement, Jets coach Aaron Glenn praising Reich, saying, quote, Frank has the rare combination of experience, creativity, and calm under pressure after starting his career as an NFL quarterback. Remember when he was down 35-3 back in the day in the playoffs? He served as a head coach for the Indianapolis Colts and the Carolina Panthers. The Jets have a lot of room for improvement with their offense. They were 29th in both scoring and yards last season, but those days as a Bills quarterback, incredible.
Thousands of fans already rushing into San Francisco and Santa Clara ahead of Super Bowl 60.
More than 1 million people are expected to travel through San Francisco this weekend. The security plan, well, the game plan took 18 months to draw, pulling in more than 35 law enforcement agencies throughout the Bay Area and inside Levi Stadium. Security efforts extend to the sky as agents conducted aerial surveillance, and the seas with stepped-up U.S. Coast Guard patrols. The NFL emphasizes that safety efforts will not include any immigration enforcement, so they say.
The search for Today Show co-host mother Nancy Guthrie stretches into a 5th day as her family makes a public appeal to whoever may have taken her. We have the latest developments on the case.
It's another cold morning out there. No warm up ahead. The Arctic front on the way, setting up some of the coldest days of the year so far. Exciting stuff.
And a live look from the First Alert Weather Tracker.